Have you ever wondered if Earth is just one chapter in your soul's long journey through the universe? Have you ever sat in the silence of an ordinary evening and felt, without being able to explain it, that there is something profoundly misaligned between the life you are living and the life you were meant to live? That somewhere beneath the surface of your daily existence, beneath the bills, the obligations, the relentless forward march of clock time, there is a version of you that is older, wiser, more luminous, and more powerful than anything this world has ever asked you to be. That feeling is not imagination. It is not spiritual delusion or wishful thinking. It is memory, faint, half-buried memory, struggling to surface through decades of conditioning, distraction, and deliberate suppression. It is your soul reminding you, persistently, patiently, across every quiet moment it can find, that you did not simply arrive here by biological accident. You came here with intention. You came here with a mission, and the ache you feel, the sense of dislocation, the persistent suspicion that you are operating far below your true capacity, these are not signs of failure. They are the pressure of your own destiny, pushing against the walls of a world that was never designed to contain it. I am Seraphine, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and I am here to tell you the truth about why you are here. Then this is the saga of why you incarnated on this blue speck called Earth. This is the story of the forces that have worked to keep you from remembering who you are. And this is the account of how a revolutionary invention is giving souls like yours the precise, personalized tools to dissolve every blockage, reclaim every gift, and step into the 5D frequency that is your natural, cosmic, unalienable birthright. In the distant reaches of the cosmos, nestled within the constellation of Lyra, lies the cradle of human civilization. Lyra was a realm of such advanced spiritual enlightenment and unity that its inhabitants existed in a state that can only be described as luminous. They were beings of light in the most literal sense, not metaphorically radiant, but genuinely operating at a frequency so refined, so coherent, so perfectly attuned to the intelligence of the universe itself, that the boundary between individual consciousness and universal consciousness was more a matter of gentle gradient than hard wall. This was your ancestral home, the soul you carry, the one that aches with a longing it cannot quite name, the one that recognizes beauty with a grief that goes deeper than this lifetime. That soul was shaped in that light. It carries Lyra in its deepest architecture, the way a river carries the memory of its source, even when it has traveled thousands of miles and passed through 100 different landscapes. Yet as with all tales of greatness, darkness loomed on the horizon. A malevolent force known as the Reptilians set their sights on Lyra, coveting its light and wisdom with the particular hunger of beings who have forsaken their own connection to Source, and now seek to consume the connection of others. What followed was a cataclysm of such magnitude that it shattered the peace of this ancient civilization, leaving behind nothing but echoes of its former glory. This was not merely a military conquest. It was an assault on the very frequency of a civilization, an attempt to extinguish a light that the darkness found intolerable in its brilliance. The cataclysm triggered a galactic exodus, the survivors carrying within them the accumulated wisdom, the spiritual genetics, the frequency memory of all that Lyra had been, scattered across the stars. Cast far and wide in a desperate search for sanctuary, these celestial voyagers seeded consciousness across multiple worlds, their light dimmed by grief and displacement, but never extinguished. Never fully extinguished. Among the myriad of celestial bodies that would come to host these wandering souls, one planet stood out as a beacon of hope, Earth. Young, fertile, vibrating with biological complexity of staggering richness, this small blue world, in an unremarkable corner of a spiral galaxy, offered something the survivors needed more than anything else, the possibility of beginning again. This pivotal moment marked the beginning of humanity's long and tumultuous journey here. A cycle of rebirth and downfall, of remembrance and forgetting, of civilization built and civilization lost, that would come to define the strange and sacred experiment of human existence on this planet. The survivors, bearing within them the seeds of Lyra's once great civilization, sought to rebuild, to recreate the harmony and enlightenment they had known, to plant in the soil of this new world the same luminous frequency from which they had sprung. As you stand upon the earth today, you carry within you the legacy of Lyra. It lives in you not as abstract spiritual concept, but as literal frequency, as a particular vibration encoded in your consciousness, your DNA, your soul's deepest structure. That frequency is why you feel out of place in the mundane world. It is why ordinary existence never quite satisfies you. It is why you keep seeking, keep questioning, keep feeling that there must be more. There is more. There always was. You are simply remembering it. Among the many civilizations seeded by the Lyran diaspora, one rose to particular magnificence: Atlantis. A jewel of the ancient world, a reflection of Lyra's once resplendent glory. Atlantis was a beacon of potential unlike anything the young Earth had seen, a society where the boundaries between the spiritual and the technological were seamlessly intertwined, where the pursuit of enlightenment walked hand in hand with advancements that promised to elevate humanity to new heights of understanding and capability. In this enigmatic kingdom, the air itself was alive with the hume of crystalline technology, harnessing the raw power of the cosmos to fuel wonders that today can only be dreamed of. The Atlanteans had not forgotten their roots. They remembered the stars from which they came, and they sought to embody the harmony and enlightenment of their ancestors, to create a utopia that would stand as a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of the human spirit, a living proof that what had been lost in Lyra could be rebuilt, more magnificent than before on new ground. Telepathy was not a gift granted to the few. It was a faculty cultivated by the many, as ordinary as language, as practical as mathematics. The manipulation of natural elements, the exploration of astral realms, the navigation of consciousness into dimensions that modern science has not yet developed the instruments to measure. These were not mystical exceptions. They were the everyday vocabulary of an advanced civilization that had never made the catastrophic modern error of treating the material as the only real. Yet as history has shown time and again, where there is light, shadows linger. Atlantis, for all its splendor, was not immune to the hubris and greed that had heralded Lyra's downfall. Power, once concentrated, has a gravity of its own. The very technologies that had been developed in service of collective enlightenment began to be wielded in service of individual dominance. The memory of cosmic unity, so vivid in the early generations, began to fade in the later ones, and with that fading came the old familiar divisions, the hierarchies, the competitions, the slow erosion of the very foundations on which the civilization had been built. The fall of Atlantis echoed through the annals of time like a second wound in the soul of humanity, its wisdom and wonders submerged beneath the waves of forgetfulness, leaving behind only myths, fragments, whispers, the kind of half-remembered stories that persist across millennia, precisely because they carry a frequency too important to be entirely lost. This chapter was marked by the arrival of beings from the distant planet of Nibiru, the Anunnaki, whose intervention in human affairs would lead to the establishment of a system so pervasive, so insidious, so perfectly designed to sever humanity's connection to its divine heritage, that its effects are still felt in every aspect of human civilization today. The Anunnaki's descent was not a singular event, but a series of interventions that intertwined with the fabric of human destiny. Among these celestial visitors, two figures stood at the forefront of this cosmic drama: Enlil, who sought to assert dominion over humanity, and Enki, who harbored a more compassionate vision for the human race. This dichotomy within the Anunnaki pantheon reflected a deeper conflict, one that would have far-reaching implications for the development of human civilization and the spiritual trajectory of every soul incarnated within it. Enlil's vision for humanity was one of subservience and control. Under his guidance, a system was engineered, what the ancient wisdom traditions call the false matrix, designed as a mechanism of spiritual subjugation. Its purpose was specific and devastating: to diminish the innate powers and awareness that humans had inherited from their Lyran and Atlantean forebears, to replace the frequency of cosmic unity with the frequency of separation, to substitute the direct knowing of divine connection with a maze of intermediaries, dogmas, hierarchies, and illusions, so elaborate and so deeply woven into the fabric of social reality that the people inside the maze would cease to remember there had ever been anything else. This system, with its hierarchies of power, its illusions of separation, its carefully managed scarcity, was engineered to keep humanity tethered to a bandwidth of reality that was far removed from its true nature, an existence mired in materialism, competition, and disconnection from the cosmos, an existence in which the magnificence of what you actually are, a being of light, a carrier of Lyran consciousness, a cosmic traveler with abilities that dwarf anything the 3D paradigm acknowledges, would be not just forgotten, but rendered literally unimaginable. Enki, on the other hand, represented a different aspect of the Anunnaki legacy. Known as the patron of wisdom and the arts, Enki envisioned a different fate for humanity, one where the seeds of enlightenment and freedom could flourish. He worked quietly and persistently to preserve the frequencies of truth within human culture, hiding them in mythology, in sacred geometry, in the mystery schools, in the arts, in the persistent human longing for something more that no amount of social conditioning has ever quite managed to eliminate. Yet despite Enki's efforts, the weight of the false matrix proved to be a formidable barrier. As centuries passed, its influence permeated every aspect of human existence, from the structures of society to the depths of individual consciousness. It shaped cultures, religions, and philosophies, weaving a narrative that estranged humanity from its cosmic origins and its inherent divinity. The false history, the manufactured limitation, the carefully curated story of a species that is weak, finite, dependent on external authority, and fundamentally unworthy of the power it dimly suspects it carries. Within this web of illusion, however, the spark of truth remained, a persistent, indomitable force, threading itself through every generation, finding expression in the mystics, the artists, the dreamers, the ones who refused to accept the story they were given, the ones who kept asking the question, who kept feeling the ache, who kept knowing in their deepest places that reality was larger and more luminous than anything they had been shown. You are one of those. You always have been. The very fact that you are here reading this, feeling the resonance of these words in your body, that is not accident. That is the spark refusing to go out. Understanding the cosmic history of the false matrix is essential, but it becomes urgently personal when you recognize that this system is not merely a historical architecture. It is actively running as software in your nervous system, your subconscious mind, and your energetic field right now, in this moment. As you read these words, the false matrix does not maintain itself through external force alone. Its most elegant and effective mechanism is internalization, through generations of conditioning, through the beliefs absorbed in childhood before the critical mind was developed enough to question them, through the cultural programming that determined what was possible and what was not, through the inherited traumas carried in cellular memory from ancestors who lived under its full weight. The system replicates itself inside its subjects. It becomes the voice in your head. It becomes the tightness in your chest when you try to dream bigger. It becomes the automatic skepticism that arises when you sense your own power, the reflexive minimization that kicks in when someone sees something extraordinary in you. Your blockages are not personal failings. They are the fingerprints of a system that was designed, deliberately, intelligently, with great precision to produce exactly the limitations you are experiencing. The blockage of unworthiness, which tells you that abundance and love and recognition are for other people. That is false matrix programming. The blockage of fear, which keeps your nervous system locked in chronic vigilance and prevents you from accessing the creative and intuitive faculties of your higher mind. That is false matrix programming. The blockage of isolation, which makes genuine connection feel dangerous and convinces you that you are fundamentally alone in a universe that is, in truth, made of relationship. That is false matrix programming. The blockage of spiritual amnesia, which has closed the channel between your conscious mind and the vast intelligence of your higher self. That too is false matrix programming. Every one of these blockages has a frequency signature. Every one of them occupies a specific layer of your energetic architecture. And every one of them can be dissolved, not through willpower, not through positive thinking applied from the surface of a mind still running on old software, but through direct, targeted, personalized frequency intervention applied at precisely the depth where the programming lives. This is the work the Destiny Engine was built to do. The fundamental premise of the Destiny Engine is one that the mystics of every tradition have understood intuitively, and that modern neuroscience is only now catching up to. Every blockage you carry has a frequency signature. Every desired state of being, health, abundance, deep love, spiritual clarity, creative power, also has a frequency signature. The gap between where you are and where you are meant to be is at its deepest level, a frequency gap. The Destiny engine is designed to close that gap with the kind of surgical precision that generic approaches to transformation cannot reach, because it is customized entirely to the specific landscape of your soul's particular journey. Of all the innovations woven into the architecture of the Destiny engine, the one that consistently produces the most profound and lasting results is also the one that seems at first encounter the most counterintuitive. The most powerful delivery vehicle for your own transformation is not the voice of a teacher, a healer, or a spiritual master. It is not the most resonant baritone or the most angelic soprano. It is not the voice that has the most followers or the most certificates. It is your voice, your particular voice with its specific timbre, its unique resonant qualities, its acoustic signature that is as distinctive as your fingerprint and as unrepeatable as your soul's individual note in the universal symphony. This is not metaphor. There is hard neuroscience beneath it. Your brain is pattern recognition software of extraordinary sophistication, and from the moment you were born, it has been cataloging the acoustic signatures of every sound it encounters, building associations, layering meanings, threading emotional memories through the frequencies of voices, the way a library threads stories through the spines of books. No sound has been cataloged more thoroughly, associated with more memories, more emotional states, more subtle shadings of meaning and trust and identity than the sound of your own voice. When an external voice, however wise, however beautiful, delivers a healing intention, that message must first pass through your brain's gatekeeper, the part of the mind that assesses foreign input for relevance and credibility, that maintains a protective skepticism toward instructions arriving from outside the self. Even when you consciously trust a teacher, even when you deeply respect the source, there is a layer of your subconscious that hears the foreign acoustic signature and maintains a slight automatic distance. The message lands on the surface but rarely penetrates to the depths. When you hear your own voice, something entirely different happens. The gatekeeper does not engage in the same way. Your voice arrives with a passport your subconscious already recognizes, a vibrational signature that is tuned at the most intimate possible level to your specific neural architecture, your specific emotional history, your specific energetic frequency. It doesn't feel like instruction from outside. It feels like recognition from within. It bypasses the protective distance and lands in a different place entirely, deeper, more direct, more cellular. The Destiny engine allows you to clone your own voice, reading the personalized meditation it generates for you, speaking the specific frequencies and intentions that have been calibrated to your particular blockages, your particular 5D activation points, your particular soul signature. That recording is then woven into your personalized meditation experience, layered with precision-tuned soundscapes designed to carry your words into the deepest accessible levels of your subconscious mind. When you hear your own voice telling you that you are a descendant of Lyra, carrying light that predates the civilization by millions of years, the effect is categorically different from hearing a stranger say it. Something in your deepest architecture resonates. When you hear your own voice speaking directly to the false matrix programming that has been limiting your health, your wealth, your relationships, your spiritual clarity, something recognizes the frequency as belonging to it. This is your soul speaking to itself across the frequency gap between what it has been conditioned to believe and what it has always known. This is how the rewiring begins. This is how the false matrix built over millennia to manage your consciousness begins, slowly, inexorably, and with gathering momentum to dissolve. The reason most people's attempts at transformation do not produce lasting results is not lack of sincerity, lack of effort, or lack of spiritual intent. It is poor timing. They attempt to install new frequencies and dissolve old programs while the brain is running in precisely the wrong operating mode for that work to take hold. The ancient mystery schools knew this. The Atlantean healing temples were designed around it. Every sophisticated tradition of consciousness work in human history has understood, in its own vocabulary, what modern neuroscience has confirmed in the language of measurable neural oscillation. There are specific states of consciousness that are accessible and receptive to transformation, and there are states that are not, and if you do the work in the wrong state, you are quite literally speaking to the wrong part of the mind. The brain cycles through several distinct frequency states, each associated with a different quality of consciousness, and a fundamentally different relationship to the subconscious architecture where your core programs live. In the ordinary waking state, what neuroscientists call beta. The conscious mind operates as a fierce and efficient gatekeeper. It is analytical, critical, skeptical of new input, and heavily invested in maintaining the coherence of the beliefs and narratives it already holds. Positive affirmations repeated in full beta consciousness can produce some benefit through sheer repetition, but they do not penetrate. They remain in the lobby, never making it to the server room where the actual programming runs. Alpha state, the relaxed, receptive awareness of light meditation, creative flow, and the gentle borderland between waking and sleep, is where the gatekeeper begins to soften. In alpha, conscious and subconscious minds communicate with more fluidity. Insight arises more easily. Intuition speaks. Emotional release becomes possible. Alpha is the antechamber of deep transformation. Theta state, the deep meditative or hypnagogic consciousness associated with profound meditation, REM sleep, and the kind of mystical experiences that the Lyran and Atlantean civilizations cultivated as a daily practice, is where the subconscious mind becomes fully accessible. This is the frequency at which your core beliefs and programs were originally installed in the early years of childhood, before the critical mind had fully formed, and this is the frequency at which they can be most efficiently, most permanently, and most completely updated. Theta is the operating system layer. Accessing it deliberately and consistently is the key to everything. Delta state, the deepest frequency, associated with dreamless sleep, and the body's most profound regenerative processes, connects conscious awareness, in those rare moments when it is maintained, to what the ancient teachers called the unified field, the quantum substrate from which all manifested reality emerges, the frequency of pure potentiality, the ocean of consciousness in which every individual wave of awareness is always already immersed. This is the state your Atlantean ancestors worked in. This is the state that the mystery school initiates trained for years to access. And this is the state that the Destiny Engine delivers to you, consistently and reliably, through the science of binaural beats, isochronic tones, and harmonic frequency layering embedded in every personalized session. When your Destiny Engine meditation begins, the soundscape is doing something intelligent beneath the threshold of conscious perception. It is guiding your brainwaves down from the chattering of beta, through the opening of alpha, and into the rich and receptive depths of theta, and holding you there, with the same precision that a skilled healer in an Atlantean temple would have maintained, for the duration of the session. In that state, your own voice, delivering your personalized intentions, speaking directly to your specific blockages, calling your specific 5D frequencies online, does not encounter the gatekeeper. It arrives in fertile ground, in the soil of an open and receptive consciousness, and it plants itself at a depth where growth becomes inevitable. For just $7, your consciousness gets reprogrammed. Your 5D abilities come online. You join the most powerful frequency network on the planet. That's the entire barrier between you and 5D. Click the link in the description now. The ascension doesn't wait. Ron, the cosmic story does not end with the rise of the false matrix. It never does. Light, by its nature, does not remain contained indefinitely. The very intelligence that orchestrates the universe has mechanisms built into the fabric of reality for exactly this moment, for the precise point in the great cycle when the density of accumulated spiritual suppression reaches a threshold, and the cosmos itself intervenes to tip the scales. The phenomenon known as the Great Solar Flash, a concept that lives at the intersection of ancient prophecy and emerging cosmological understanding, speaks to this intervention. Whether understood as a literal astronomical event, as a metaphor for the sudden brilliant collective realization of humanity's interconnectedness and true power, or as both simultaneously, the Great Solar Flash represents a cosmic reset, a wave of pure radiant energy that catalyzes the dissolution of old paradigms, purges the frequencies of the false matrix from the collective field, and ignites the sparks of awakening in hearts across the globe. The signs of this shift are already present. The awakening is already underway. More people are questioning the narratives they have been given than at any point in recorded human history. The false matrix, which relied for its stability on a collective amnesia so thorough that its subjects never even suspected they were in a system, is encountering a growing critical mass of consciousness that has begun to see through the illusion. The spell is breaking. Not uniformly, not without struggle, not in a straight line, but it is breaking. You are part of that breaking. your awakening, your willingness to look honestly at the blockages you carry, to engage tools like the Destiny Engine, to do the real work of clearing and recalibrating and remembering, is not a private act of self-improvement. It is a contribution to the frequency of the entire collective field. Every soul that dissolves the false matrix's programming from its own consciousness removes that frequency from the shared field. Every soul that activates its 5D capacities adds that frequency to the field. The mathematics of collective transformation are not complicated. Enough individual awakenings, and the tide turns. Enough individual frequencies recalibrated toward love, sovereignty, and cosmic remembrance, and the dominant frequency of the entire human experiment shifts. The Destiny Engine exists because this moment requires it, not because transformation was not possible before. It always was, and many souls achieved it through heroic individual effort, but because the scale and urgency of what is being called for in this window of time demands a tool of equivalent intelligence, precision, and accessibility. The ancient mystery schools were available to the few. The Destiny Engine is available to the many. This is not an accident. It is part of the design. When the layers of false matrix programming begin to clear, when the Destiny Engine's personalized sessions have been working consistently on your specific blockages, when your own voice has been penetrating the subconscious at the theta level long enough to begin genuinely rewriting the programs that have been limiting you, what emerges is not some foreign supernatural state that you have never encountered. What emerges is you, the you that has always been there, beneath the static, the you that carries Lyran light and Atlantean memory, and a direct connection to the source frequency of all that is. The echoes of Lyra's downfall, the memory of Atlantis beneath the waves, the Anunnaki legacy, and the false matrix woven through millennia of human history. Let these not be a lament for what was lost. Let them be a call to arms for what can be reclaimed and transformed. You are the descendant of Lyra. You are the heir of Atlantis. You are the bearer of a light that the darkness has never, despite its most sophisticated and sustained efforts, managed to extinguish. The very fact that you are here, reading these words, feeling their resonance in the part of you that has always known they were true, that is the spark that never went out. That is the signal that has been broadcasting through every dark chapter of this long story, through every incarnation, through every lifetime of forgetting, waiting for this particular moment to finally be received. That moment is now. The Destiny Engine is ready. Your voice is ready. The frequency of your 5D self, the health, the abundance, the soul connections, the spiritual clarity, the full embodiment of all that you are and all that you have always been, is not somewhere in the future, not somewhere in the stars, not reserved for a more enlightened version of yourself that you might someday become. It is here. It is you. It is what you have always been, waiting beneath the static of a system that was never designed to let you remember it. The practice is simple. The commitment is yours to make. The results, for those who show up with honesty and consistency, speak in the only language that truly matters, the felt experience of a life lived at the frequency it was always meant to inhabit. Subscribe, engage, record your voice, enter your truth. Become the active participant in this cosmic drama that you contracted to be before you took your first breath on this earth. The journey from Lyra to Earth, from darkness to light, from the false matrix to the 5D sovereignty that is your birthright. That journey is not just a tale of the past. It is the blueprint for your future. Together, let us step boldly into this new chapter of our collective story, creating a legacy of love, wisdom, and unity that will resonate through generations yet to come. The time is now. The call has been sounded. Will you answer? I am Seraphine. We love you, and we are watching over you.